What is up, survivors? We are back with another taming video. We're going to talk about the Astrodelphis, this little mini space whale that's out in the space biome here on Genesis 2. We're going to talk about where to find them, how to tame them, and the cool abilities that come along with them. So let's get right into taming this guy. All you're really going to need is element. That's it. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so Astrodelphis guys will be hanging around in space, usually in packs, just kind of wandering around doing the thing. Once you've picked the one that you want tamed, you want to have element in your last slot, and then you're just gonna have to chase one of these around. It's a little annoying, but it's got a heck of a reward. So, alright, so we're gonna roam over here and pick one and start this process up. I'm gonna run up to me. I'll have the option to pet. It's gonna do something. It might headbutt me, it might just run away. Yeah, you're just gonna run away. Alright, so the trick is at this point, you just need to follow this dude around. You'll have the option to pet them, and then feed them. And this is pretty much the game that we're playing for a little while. Pet, and then we should have a feed option here in a second. There we go, bam. Pet, pet, feed is essentially what you're doing. And we already tamed this one. What level is this? Oh, it's a low level, that's why. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all there's to it. You might have to do this more than once. You're probably gonna have to do it a couple times with higher level creatures, obviously, but this is a low level one, so it's just kind of a one take. But that's all you're gonna do is just follow it around, pet, pet, feed it element, pet, pet, feed it element. The trick is to stay on top of it as best as you can, because that's how the taming effectiveness is gonna work. The more quick you are with your feeding and petting, the higher the taming effectiveness is gonna be. So follow them around, stay on them very closely. Pretty simple outside of that. That's pretty much it. You just need element in your inventory. The big worrisome out here would be void worms. Seekers aren't too bad. They kind of stay away for the most part unless you got a glow animal with you. You just got to watch out for void worms essentially. But because there's so many of these things in comparison, because there's so many of these things out here, you don't really have to worry about it too often. So let's go back out into the Eden biome and check out this guy's abilities. Alright, once these guys are tamed, like I said, they have a lot of really cool nifty abilities. First and foremost, they do have a saddle. You're going to need to be level 120 to craft this guy, and you'll make it on the tech replicator, black pearls, crystal element, metal, and polymer to make it. This saddle is amazing. It's pretty fun. This is definitely sort of an end game mount, and as far as travel, this is probably the best one to use on this map, period, for the most part. For a lot of different reasons. So this slow normal movement speed can be a little bit aggravating, but if I hit control, actually I think I have it mapped to, yeah, I have it mapped to my middle mouse button, but your control option puts you in this crazy jet mode where you move a lot faster, and you can toggle sprint with it as well. You're going to use element while you're using this thing. It's just how it is. Element is the fuel source, and you can see that down at the bottom of the toolbar, and the fuel will slowly burn out that way. So while you're normally driving this thing with element, you have some firing attacks. You have a laser that you can use that is pretty much as fast as you can click it, is as fast as this guy will shoot. The other option with the primary, and this is a primary fire button, the other option is to hold it in, and it'll actually do a homing missile to hit the target guaranteed. And you just let it go. Super easy, super nice for more highly maneuverable things. Plus it also kind of lets you maneuver a little bit better while you're firing as well. You don't need to stay on target for the most part. And as you can see, the target lock, let's turn around. The target lock, I mean, essentially if you can get in the render range, you can fire it. So it's got a super long range, making this guy really good for taking out targets, harassing targets for the most part. Because you're super fast and you can pretty much outrun anything out here. You can essentially kill anything out here for the most part as long as you're smart about it without taking too much damage. Obviously low levels, so these stats aren't crazy. The health is really not too high on these guys, so you're going to want to watch that. These guys aren't really fighters per se. They're not made to take damage. They're glass cannons. They're meant to put damage out. They're not going to be taking a whole lot. Stamina is not, it's kind of negligible because you're really running off the saddle, so it really doesn't matter too much. Melee damage doesn't matter either. It doesn't change the scale of the damage of the saddle, so you don't really have to mess with that at all. Really, honestly, some carry weight, maybe some health to make sure you can get out of a pinch is pretty good, but outside of that, you really need to worry about it too much with these guys. I guess if you wanted to do like normal movement speed with them, I guess that'd be a thing to do, but that's pretty much it. The other attack that they have is a secondary attack, which fires grenades sort of like the Tropio does from Crystal Isles. It's pretty much the same way. You'll fire the grenade out, but that option, if you notice that, I can use. So when the grenade is loose, let's go back and hit this again. It moves slower than the grenade shot from the Tropio, but what the grenade will do is either bam, hit target and explode, or if I just fire it out and then I hit it again, it immediately explodes wherever it's at. So I can fire this, let it go wherever, hit it again, and it'll explode wherever I want it to as well. So when it hits the target, hits something like a tree or a rock or the side of a building, it'll go off. When it hits a dino, it'll go off, or I can tell it exactly when to go off, which is really good for some crowd control or out in space flight as well. And when you're outside of water with this guy, and we'll talk about what it does with the water in a second, but when you're outside of water, you can hit the space bar. What this does is an EMP pulse. So any sort of tech creatures will be stunned for a period of time when you do this. So that part is a little bit more useful as well. Obviously, when you're out of the regular mode here, you do have a normal attack, but it's not going to do anything for you. You're not going to use this guy to bite stuff with. It doesn't work very well. When you kill creatures with this guy, either by the guns or biting it, I doubt you'd be biting anything, but if you kill it with guns, it'll drop these little, like, by the body will be like these little blue dots. You fly over it, pick it up, and you'll get a damage buff, a damage resistance, and then also a movement speed for a certain amount of time as well. You can stack this up to 2 times, I believe. So, yep, there it goes. Just picked it up. So now we got it down at the bottom. So I'm looking at a minute for more movement speed, more damage, and damage resistance. And again, that does stack. You can do it twice, but that's pretty much it. What else? Oh, if I'm running C, I can do a barrel. I can do like this cool loop-de-loop, which is pretty cool. But hitting C. Yeah, we can do that. That's pretty neat. I think that's pretty much it for the most part when we're out here. Yeah, EMPs. Everything else is going to be down in the water. Let's go down here. All right, so this guy doesn't have an oxygen stat and can cruise around underwater incredibly fast, which is pretty nice. The cool thing about underwater is I get this little cool sonar ability, which I was hoping it would pull up. There it goes. Yeah, so it shows these little echo marks where enemies are at while I'm down here. You have to wait for the charge meter to pick up, but again, you'll notice the creatures down here. It's like an echolocation as far as seeing creatures down here, which is pretty cool. Probably more useful, I don't know, more so in the deep water ocean where there's a lot of little stuff around to bite you with. But yeah, that's how it works. You still have all the same abilities when you're down here underwater. You can still fire, you can do all that stuff. The only thing it doesn't work, like I said, is that EMP pulse, because essentially you're replacing the sonar for the EMP depending on whether or not you're in the water or not. Which is essentially pretty much it for this guy. It has a lot, and I do repeat quite a lot of abilities. This is definitely more of an endgame mount. It makes traveling in this map on this map easy mode for sure, and the ability to go in the water and out of water and get into situations and out of situations really super easy. These are breedable. You can breed them as well, so that can be a thing if you want to. Not really any drawbacks. Low health, obviously, so you don't want to get them involved in a fight or stuck in a situation. This is like a hit and run, like I said, a very glass cannon sort of tame. Be careful when you're dismounting these guys sometimes. Yep, and as you can see, when you dismount them, they'll like skirt around for a little bit. I'm not sure what's doing that, but they'll eventually stop. It's like, I don't know, for like a second or two after you dismount from them, they'll kind of wander around a little bit. So pay attention to that if you're getting off in like a bad location or a hostile location. Maybe you're grabbing a drop or something like that. Other than that, pretty much it. That's how this guy works. Pretty awesome mount. Not other than the health factor. Nothing really bad to say about this guy. I would highly advise leveling up health and weight though. Health just in case sort of deal. The more health you're going to have, the more survivable you might be if those bad situations happen. And then obviously more weight, be able to carry some more stuff while you're out here hunting around, grabbing resources and whatnot. But that's pretty much it. That's the Astrodelphis. That's it, guys. That's the Astrodelphis. Hope you guys liked the video. And if you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button. I will see you guys on the next one.